Chapter 6, The Millionaire Messenger's Money Map. Whenever I tell people that they can make a difference and an income at the same time by sharing their life story and advice with others, they often look at me like I've lost my mind. Many of them look at me as if to say, sure man, show me the money. Where do all these dollars come from that these millionaire messengers make? I've gotten that look enough to know it's important for me to talk money with you. I'll do that in this chapter, but let me make a few points before diving into the dollars. First, I'm a lot like many of my readers, and money plays second fiddle to meaning in my life. The truth is that I'm much more driven by sharing my message than I am by having enough cash to buy whatever I want. I suppose that comes from the way I was raised. My parents, both working full-time, never earned more than $40,000 combined when I was young. We didn't have much when I was growing up, so I guess I never had ambition for a lot of material wealth. However, I have learned a very important lesson about money in these last few years, and that's that money is a grand amplifier. If you want to get your message out there in a big way and you want to sustain it, having more money makes that possible. It sounds odd to write that for me, but after working with tens of thousands of entrepreneurial experts, I know it to be true. You simply need to make money to continue sharing and sustaining your message. That's why in this chapter, I'm going to be blunt about money and how it's made in our industry. I don't want you to be another would-be author, speaker, coach, seminar leader, or online marketer whose message dies because you have to spend all your time doing unfulfilling side work that keeps you from your artistry and your message. So let's get to it. How do experts make money? How could you make $1 million without building a massive organization that chokes your entrepreneurial freedom? It's much, much simpler than you would have guessed. The 6 profit pillars for entrepreneurial experts. Entrepreneurial experts make money through one or more of the following activities: writing, speaking, seminars, coaching, consulting, and online marketing. As authors, experts write their advice and how-to information and charge money for it. While writing a traditional book is the most common form of monetizing writing for experts, there are also other options. My clients and I have made money by selling booklets, the shorter cousin to books, often 20 to 50 pages in length. Ebooks, shorter electronic versions of books, often 20 to 50 pages in length. Instructor guides, train the trainer manuals on my topics. Membership site blogs, which people pay a subscription fee to read and access with a unique login and password. Article series for other experts to license, and monthly subscription newsletters delivered in print to my customers' homes once a month for a fee. As speakers, experts make money by delivering presentations on their topic in one of 3 formats. First, they may market themselves as keynote speakers, charging organizations a speaking fee for what is typically a 30 to 90-minute speech. When speaking for longer durations, from 2 hours to 2 days, speakers take on the role of trainer and deliver their information for organizations in a much more detailed manner. Last, and this has become wildly popular and profitable in the last decade, speakers earn an income doing platform sales, meaning they speak on other promoter stages and offer their higher priced products and programs for sale directly to the audience from the stage. Basically, they teach their topic for 80 minutes or so, and then in the last 10 to 15 minutes, offer their programs for sale to the audience. In this format, platform presenters do not earn a fee to speak. They only make money if the audience buys their programs. In this case, the speaker usually splits the revenue 50-50 with the promoter. In today's world, many speakers also make a lot of money releasing video training online, but I'll reserve that discussion for later. As seminar leaders, experts host their own live events. I simply group all these live training events under seminars, but they're often described as workshops, conferences, educational retreats, training intensive, transformational weekends, and so on. Seminars, as I'll argue later, are often the most lucrative pillars of profit for entrepreneurial experts. They're also one of the greatest positioning efforts an expert can do. If you have a live seminar on your topic, then people will see you as a leading authority on the topic. And every other speaker on your topic will also want to speak on your stage. As life and business coaches, experts make money by charging clients for individual or group coaching sessions. The most common form of coaching is similar to the therapeutic model. Clients pay coaches by the hour for their advice. This often involves a life coach talking with their customers in person or over the phone for 1 hour a week or 1 hour a month. In the more scalable and lucrative group coaching model, a coach may host weekly or monthly coaching calls with a group of clients, teaching for the part of the call and then conducting question and answer sessions to finish it. As consultants, experts make money by charging organizations, usually by the hour or by the completed project, for their actual services in creating, collaborating on, and completing a specific project. In the new world economy, this is often the most labor-intensive approach to making money as an expert. You have to find organizational clients, pitch them your products and services, and then work with them individually or with your team to deliver them. I personally rarely recommend this model to experts because of the time and scalability challenges. It's very hard to scale a consulting model without building a larger employee-based team, but many have done it successfully, so I include it here. Depending on your goals, consulting can be a great option, especially if you love solving larger organizational challenges. And for full disclosure, I was a high-paid consultant for the world's largest consulting company for 6 years of my life. So perhaps I just grew tired of the hours, pressure, and politics involved in consulting. Finally, as online marketers, experts make money by packaging their advice and how-to knowledge into informational products and programs that people purchase online. This is the new promised land of experts and all entrepreneurs. The internet has decimated old distribution conventions and allowed us to directly capture, communicate with, and sell to our customers. Experts now completely and commonly offer their content and how-to training through webinars, software, membership sites, downloadable audio and video programs, monthly content releases, desktop training programs, and so much more. Today's experts are essentially online retailers of information. And unlike our brick and mortar counterparts, business is booming. Setting up a website to add value to customers, capture leads, and deliver content for a fee is easier and faster than ever. At Experts Academy, we've shown and proven how entrepreneurial experts can be up and running online in less than a single day. It's incredible. The nice part about all these roles, author, speaker, seminar leader, coach, consultant, and online marketer, is that you get to choose which best matches your style and lifestyle preferences. Are you an awesome writer who doesn't want to travel? Then being an author and online marketer makes a lot of sense. Do you love the stage, the lights, and traveling to new cities? Then becoming a speaker and seminar leader could be a blast. Would you rather work one-on-one with clients? Well, maybe you will hang your hat as a coach or a consultant. While choice is wonderful, you also do not necessarily have to choose. Most experts, at least those of us who are building seven-figure businesses, wear many of these hats as part of our business strategy. The truth is that if you only wear one of these hats, you're essentially limiting your income and you're in danger of not creating a real business. Here's a common example. Many of the people who attend Experts Academy have been New York Times bestselling authors. You would think that they were beyond wealthy and famous, but for many, they are unknown and broke. How can that be possible? Because though they had a best-selling book, there was nothing beyond the book. They didn't have a great website or other products and services available for sale. When their 15 minutes of fame had elapsed, their new fans had nothing else to purchase. This is so common that it's frightening, and I'd surmise that our industry, especially the book industry, would rival the music industry in the number of one-hit wonders. To truly evolve and expand as an expert, you want to begin cultivating all 6 areas into multiple streams of revenue business model. You don't have to, but trust me, you'll want to once you see the impact, influence, and income that you can generate when you mix writing, speaking, leading seminars, coaching, consulting, and online marketing. Personally, I'm a best-selling author. We have The Millionaire Messenger is the #1 New York Times best-selling book, #1 USA Today best-selling book. I'm an in-demand speaker, a seminar leader who sells out every event, a coach with a long waiting list of 25,000 a year coaching clients, a consultant who picks and chooses projects, and an online marketer whose products makes millions of dollars. Now, here's the kicker. I do all of this with a minimal staff and a very simple business model, as I've said. This last point, though, is worth repeating. As an entrepreneurial expert, you do not need a large staff, if any at all. As you'll recall, I made my first million without a single employee. How is that possible? It's possible because in most cases, all you need for infrastructure in this business are a phone, laptop, and a message. From there, everything is just positioning, packaging, promoting, and partnering with others to get your message out. I'll cover these 4 P's in Chapter 8, The Millionaire Mandates. $1 million expert empire in 5 steps. Let me show you how all these roles and profit pillars can come together to create a very simple plan to create $1 million business. This plan was created for Sally, one of my $25,000 per year clients, who asked me once, quite bluntly, Brendan, I need a plan to make $1 million in 12 months, and I want to be able to do it without building a huge infrastructure or hoping for luck to stumble upon tens of thousands of new clients. In almost every industry, this would be quite a challenging problem, right? In the expert industry, it's fairly straightforward. In fact, I showed this client that she could accomplish her goals with just hundreds of customers, with no staff, and with just following the 5 basic work efforts. 1, create a low-priced information product. First, I told Sally to create a lower-priced information product. Of course, she said, "What's that?" I'm sure you have the same question, so I'll be defining my terms as we move through this plan. In the expert industry, low price is typically anything in the $20 to $200 range. An information product is basically training material, your advice or strategies for success packaged into an educational product or program. In this price range, an informational product is often a book, ebook, CD audio program, just like the one you're listening to here, or DVD home study course. Let's assume Sally creates an audio program comprised of just 7 CDs that sells for $197. An audio program like this is easy to create. Sally just needs to buy a decent microphone and plug it into her computer, and with the free software on her computer, she can record her voice and training. All she needs to do is record 7 one-hour sessions, which ultimately become the 7 CDs in her audio program. Once she has the MP3 files from her recordings, she can send them to a CD manufacturer and have them create her CDs and product design. Bam! Sally has a product which the manufacturer prints on demand and fulfills. Now all Sally needs is a website to sell the program. Now let's get to the numbers. If Sally just sells 1 program a day at $197, in a standard 30-day month, she would earn $5,910 a month. Multiply that amount by 12 months, and this product can make her $70,920 a year. Not bad. She made $70,000 a year and only needed 365 customers to do it. But this is just the beginning. At this point, let me address the ignorance of skeptics. Many newbies or outside observers would say, "Oh my God, who would ever pay $197 for an audio program when you can get books on tape for $10?" What these types of questions display is a general lack of understanding about the expert industry. The value of any given program in our industry is not how much it costs to create, but how much value it delivers. Expertise is not a commodity like toothpaste is. For example, a 7-disc audio program can generally be manufactured and fulfilled for around $15 to $25, if not less. But it's certainly worth more than that if it solves someone's problems or improves someone's life or business, right? As an example, my friend Tony Robbins sells a wonderful personal development audio program called Get the Edge. It's just 7 CDs and a nice box. I bought it for around $197 a few years ago, and it changed my life. Is life change worth $197? I think so. Anyone who does not is simply not my customer or yours. Let's move on and see how the dollars start adding up. 2, create a low-priced subscription program. So now we have Sally up to $70,920 a year by just selling a $197 audio program. On top of this, I suggested she create a subscription program, which in the expert community is often called a membership program or continuity program. Just like the magazine business model, a subscription program in the expert industry is based on delivering monthly content to your subscribers. In this step, I suggested Sally create a monthly program where she sent customers a new training video every month. I also suggested she host a monthly training call over a conference call line in which she gave more training and answered questions as well. To access the video and the call replays, her customers could log into a members-only site and download the video and audio recordings. At a low-tier price point in our industry, Sally can charge from $9.97 all the way up to $197 a month for her training based on her positioning and the value delivered to her clients. I suggested we start her at a $97 a month subscription point. Looking at the numbers, if Sally gets just 100 people to pay her $97 a month for her subscription program, she would be earning an extra $9,700 per month, which equals an astounding $116,000 per year. Imagine making $116,000 a year with just 100 clients, and all you have to do is send out a video and host a call once a month. In the expert industry, it happens all the time. Now, keep in mind that you don't have to do a video and conference call every month. You could simply send out a specialty newsletter or a new audio CD every month to your subscribers. You don't have to personally create the content or products yourself. You could hire a freelancer to write the articles or create training videos, or you could partner with other experts to send their content to your customers. The options are endless, and you can pick which modality you like to work in the most. I hope I don't have to remind you that this is all based on you delivering excellent value and content to your customers. But do you see how fast this all adds up? Let's keep stacking the services on our way to reaching that $1 million plan. 3, create a mid-tier priced information product. Next, I asked Sally to consider making a more advanced and comprehensive training program that could be sold at the mid-tier price point. For reference, a low-tier price point is around $10 to $200. A mid-tier price point is usually $200 to $999, and a high tier is $1,000 and above. The low to high tiering structure is for illustration purposes only. The reality is that mid-tier for personal development is different than it is for real estate or programs on building wealth, and so on. For example, a $497 product is considered high tier price point in the personal development space, but cheap and low tier in the online marketing space. Let's say Sally created a $497 DVD home study course on her topic that she mailed to people's houses. The home study course could include 10 DVDs, transcripts, a workbook, and a bonus 3-disc audio program. If she sold 60 units a month, just 2 a day, that would equal $29,820 a month, which adds up to a whopping $357,847 a year. Notice that I'm not asking Sally to sell tens of thousands of units here. We're talking about just 60 customers a month in this example, and she then earns $357,840 a year with just this one product. The average American earns less than $65,000, so this is incredible by most people's standards. But we're just getting warmed up, because all those people whose lives have been transformed by Sally's audio, subscription, and DVD programs will want to see her live one day. They will want to go to her seminar. 4, create a high-tier, multi-day seminar. Running seminars is the most lucrative empire building strategy for experts that I know. Think about any guru that you've ever followed. Did they have a seminar or live event workshop? Of course they did. What's interesting is that they probably didn't start their seminars because they wanted to be a seminar leader someday. Instead, they started because their customers demanded they do so. The reality is that customers in our industry are deeply interested in mastery, in continuing their education. So if they've bought your book and audio and DVD programs, they want to now go deeper and learn from you live. It's not unlike the music industry. Customers buy CDs, but at some point yearn for the live concert. Oddly, most experts are terrified of doing their own seminars. But again, most fear is due to uncertainty. Their lack of knowledge in how to conduct seminars creates a lack of confidence. Seminars actually happen to be very easy and lucrative to pull off if you know what you're doing and you do not need thousands of people in a room to succeed. For example, in the next 12 months, over the course of the next year, do you think you could get just 100 people into a conference room to learn from you? I bet you could if you positioned, packaged, promoted, and partnered well. Let's imagine Sally plans all year and gets just 100 people into her seminar, each one paying $1,000 to attend. They pay that amount because it's Sally live and in person. It's also her best content. She has brought in a few other experts as guest speakers, and the seminar is held at a nice resort that's easy to reach by airplane. If you cannot persuade 100 people to come to a seminar and you have 12 entire months to do so, then you've probably lost all your ability to communicate. I mean, think about it. You'd only have to get 9 or so people a month to sign up over those 12 months in order to put 100 people in a room. Playing out the numbers on this example, Sally would earn $100,000 in ticket sales. That's just one weekend of training, and it only includes the ticket sales. We're not even counting the back-end sales, which would be additional product and program purchases that customers make at the live event. The back end of a seminar is often worth twice the front end, but we'll not include that number here just to illustrate a simple $1 million plan. In the first seminar I ever did, I had around 28 people in a room paying twice that, $2,000 a ticket. And I didn't know half as much as you now do about this industry. I couldn't believe it. I had made $56,000 in one weekend. The total cost to host the event were just $5,000, which included the room and presentation screen material. I remember it fondly because I had to do everything myself. I didn't even have a team back then to videotape the program or run the lights and music. I borrowed a projector from a buddy of mine and brought snacks for people. I ran the entire event off my laptop, which was placed atop a tiny table with a long skirt. I bought some cheap computer speakers and put them underneath the table. Before and after breaks, I would put on some music, talk to customers, get everyone dancing, and then turn the music on and off by myself. It was hilarious from a production standpoint, but the program changed people's lives. We all start somewhere. These days, our seminars are quite fancy, and we regularly put hundreds of people in a room paying $3,400 to $5,000 a ticket. Back to our example. Sally has just made $100,000 at her first seminar on the front end by having 100 people pay $1,000 to attend. She'll soon find that people want to go deeper with her training and request her personal coaching. 5, create a high-priced coaching program. When Sally's fans and customers want to get her personal attention and continuing education at the mastery level, they'll want to hire her as a life or business coach. There are many ways to create a coaching program, and we teach them all at Experts Academy. One would be for Sally to be hired as a traditional one-on-one life coach. In this role, Sally would assess her clients' needs and work with them to discover where they are and where they want to go. Then she'd create a plan to move the client closer towards their dream, and she'd begin coaching the client to implement that plan, to stay accountable, and to grow as a person and a professional. Most of the coaching and conversations happen over the phone, though any professional coach will tell you there really is more to it than that, and they would be right. This is just a high-level overview of the business. Pricing in the coaching business has become more and more of a crapshoot these days. As an industry, the average life coach likely earns between $150 and $350 per hour. But that's the average, and being average will not make you a millionaire. I rarely recommend that people focus solely on individual and traditional life or business coaching because it's simply not scalable. You can only coach so many people in the traditional hourly model. And even if you kept your calendar packed with coaching calls and live meetings, you'd face the same issue that therapists, doctors, lawyers, and any hourly professional ultimately deals with. You'd start hating your life. I experienced this personally too. I remember having so many coaching clients at one point that I started to dread being on the phone all day. My life became about the clock and calendar, and that's no way for an entrepreneur to live. The best model for scaling a coaching practice is to start doing group coaching. So let's use that as an example here. Let's say Sally creates a high-end $2,000 per month group coaching program. In this program, Sally's customers get exclusive new training videos every month, a group training and question and answer conference call, 2 free tickets to her live event, and a separate live weekend each year for coaching clients only. She might talk to her group members individually once a month, or she might not. If she were my client, I would recommend that she not. The value the group gets is exclusive training and access with both Sally and the group. I love this model, and many in our community have been very successful with it. If Sally just gets 15 people into a $2,000 a month coaching program, it equates to $30,000 a month and $360,000 per year. With this last strategy in place, we've created an entirely new $1 million expert empire from scratch for Sally by doing just 5 things. Let's look at how these numbers all add up. In recap, 1, if Sally sells just 1 low-priced audio program a day at $197, she would earn $5,910 a month and $70,920 a year. 2, if Sally sells just 100 people into a $97 a month subscription program, she would earn $9,700 a month and $116,400 a year. If Sally sells just 60 mid-tier products a month at $497, she would earn $29,820 a month or $357,840 a year. 4, if Sally sells just 100 seminar tickets at $1,000, she would earn another $100,000 a year. 5, if Sally sells just 15 coaching clients at $2,000 a month, she would earn $30,000 a month or $360,000 a year. Combined, these 5 strategies earn Sally $1,005,160 a year. What's remarkable about this plan is that it doesn't require Sally to have dozens upon dozens of products or thousands upon thousands of clients. She needs just 5 programs for people to enroll in. To become a millionaire, she needs to sell just 1 low-priced audio program a day, 100 subscriptions at $97 a month, 60 mid-tier products a month, 100 seminar tickets over the course of a year, and 15 coaching clients. Of course, this is just a simple plan, and there are plenty of ways to reach $1 million. Sally could decide to focus entirely and solely on conducting seminars and make $1 million selling 500 people a $2,000 ticket or 2,000 people a $500 ticket. Or she could work exclusively on building a subscription or a membership program and get 1,000 people paying her $97 a month to reach her $1 million goal. Or she could sell 2,000 or so products at the $497 level. Or sign up 45 coaching clients at $2,000 per month for a cool $1,080,000 a year. Again, the possibilities are endless. At this point, I know many people have objections to all this. They say, well, Brendan, not everyone can be an expert and do this. To this I reply, why not? What is it about this industry that makes people think they can't do it? Clearly, anyone can learn to master a topic, right? And anyone can organize their knowledge into helpful advice, right? And these days, anyone can put up a website and offer their programs for sale, right? So what's all the mystery about? I hope this book helps in debunking this myth. Of course, it's certainly true that not everyone will become a millionaire or achieve extraordinary financial results. My aim here is not to guarantee everyone will. I'm often asked, Brendan, your example of making millions is great, but can anyone make money and become rich doing this? As a legal disclaimer, I must say that my results are not typical and that not everyone is guaranteed to earn an income by following my or anyone's advice or strategies. I personally do not think anyone in life is guaranteed anything. Agreed? Besides, it's illegal to guarantee anyone results with your teaching, period. The law stems from the Federal Trade Commission in the United States, which thankfully prevents hucksters from making wild claims, such as everyone who buys my course will become a millionaire overnight by buying foreclosed homes. The truth is that we all have different levels of ambition, knowledge, skill, talent, ability, resources, and commitment. So of course, we're all going to get different results in life. That makes sense to me. My goal in illustrating the simple plan is to show an example of how just a few product offerings can add up to a big opportunity. I'm just helping illuminate where all the money comes from in our industry so that it's no longer a mystery to beginners. I hope it serves you to enrich your understanding of how this industry really works. Another objection we often hear relates to the numbers I use in my illustration. Many newbies and skeptics ask, but some of those prices are so high, who in the world are you to charge that much? Well, who is anyone to charge money for anything? What gives any professional the right to charge any amount of money for anything? It's a concept called capitalism. It's supply and demand and the notion of an equal exchange of value. In our expert world, we know we can charge these amounts because, frankly, people pay them. Consumers vote with their wallets. If they did not believe we were worth it, they would not pay the price we were asking. It's as simple as that. Never forget that people pay a lot of money to shorten their learning curve and their path to success. Look at the exorbitant amount of money that people are paying for college these days. Some would say it's atrocious, but people pay the tuitions and they will continue to do so because learning is and always will be important. In the expert space, we take education to the next level by synthesizing and systemizing specific information that helps people solve their problems, whether personal or professional, and move forward faster in life. Luckily for us, demand is always high, and the world is always hungry for new strategies and ideas. To illustrate this point, consider the fact that while almost every sector of the economy was downsizing in the last few years, businesses run by well-rounded experts who live by the principles in this book saw extraordinary growth. Why? Because now more than ever, millions of people are looking for inspiration and instruction to help them get ahead and stay motivated. People have been laid off in great numbers, the baby boomers are retiring, and a new generation is looking to succeed. All this bodes well for the entrepreneurial expert. Here's the thing. If you personally do not think that you can charge high prices, you're probably right. I've always believed that a person's potential is only limited by his or her belief in themselves and what is possible. If your beliefs stop you from believing that you and your information and expertise are valuable, then no one can help you. No one will ever show up at your door with a certification that says, "Congratulations, you are now qualified to raise your prices." As with all things in life, the way to get something you want, including getting to the point where you can charge good money for your good advice, rests on how hard you work and how much value you add. Not everyone will work hard, add equal value, or succeed. Personally, I do have an opinion about who succeeds in building wealth in this business and who does not. And I do think it's rather predictable. To many of my students' surprise, I don't think it comes down to how smart you are, how well connected you are, how attractive you are, or how wealthy you already are. I also don't think it comes down to having the perfect business plan or website. It's also not about how big a subscription list you have. I believe it's more about what Tony Robbins often says. It's not about your resources. It's about your resourcefulness. I didn't have a lot of business knowledge, connections, or money when I began, as I have already shared with you. I also didn't have a plan, a website, or a list. Many of my clients start the same way, with nothing but a dream and a desire to help other people. What successful experts do have in common is that they have the right mindset and mandates to follow. In other words, we have the right psychology and set of practices that help us start out and grow a real business. In the next 2 chapters, we'll cover these 2 areas in detail. A reminder, as we move our discussion of money to mindset, let's get back to the heart of why we do this important work. You clearly have the chance to earn an extraordinary income being an expert. Out of necessity, I had to teach you to make some money because I know that it's required for you to start out and sustain your message. The more money you make, the more you can spread your message. But with all the focus on making money and running the business, it can be so easy to get away from why we do what we do. We always have to remind ourselves that despite the enormity of the financial opportunity we have in the expert space, we have an even greater calling and obligation to serve. Our mission is to improve the lives and businesses of those we serve by providing great value and information. Just like any entrepreneur, experts can quickly succumb to focusing on the financial and operational side of the business. It's easy to lose meaning of what we do when we have to deal with the money and hard to please customers. And now that we all do so much work virtually and can serve the masses through the web, we often lose the connection with our individual customers. It's that personal connection that reminds us of just how much a difference our work makes. I've experienced this personally. Between the travel I do for speeches and seminars, the isolation I force myself in order to write new books and articles, and the hurry I make to get the latest new video or promotion finished and posted on the web, I've sometimes felt more stress than satisfaction too. There are days when I don't speak to a customer at all, and others when I correspond with some I'd rather not have as customers. There are days when my staff lets me down or I let them down. There are days when I want to throw my computer out the window forever. And there are plenty of days when I feel alone in this industry because we rarely all get together to create a real community. I think that's part and parcel of any entrepreneurial effort. But I never lose sight of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it's vitally important to remind yourself of that often in this business. If you always keep in mind that your work is changing lives, you will stay motivated, do the right things, and take care of your customers. And if you do a good job and keep the lines of communication open with your customers, they'll remind you as well of why you do what you do. I remember one particularly busy time in my expert business that taught me a great lesson. I was becoming more and more recognized for my work, so I was getting a lot of new opportunities. In a 6-month period, I'd hired 2 new contractors, created 4 new websites, started 2 new seminars, made $1 million, traveled to dozens of cities, launched a new online training program, and moved my mother from her home in Montana to Las Vegas following the death of my father. I was burned out, exhausted. We had 1,000 new issues we'd never faced before, and as we grew, we started to get a few customers who really took advantage of our generosity. Many people were stealing our content or illegally copying it and selling it. The money was pouring in. I was so busy, though, that I didn't feel much excitement because I was starting to lose touch with the magic of what we do. And then I received an email from a customer who was touched by my book, Life's Golden Ticket. I'll end this chapter with it because it reminds us all how meaningful our work can be. A world away, someone found importance in my work. In all our insanity and hurry, we sometimes forget how much our work helps and inspires others, even when we do not always see it, and even when we do not always hear about it. I receive thousands of emails of thanks a month, but this one stopped me cold and truly made me thankful. Do good work in the world and put your message out there. Even when you don't know you're making a difference, you are. This is an actual email I received. It's been edited only to protect the sender's privacy. Here we go. Brendan, you don't know me, just another name on your list. Don't worry, I'm not some nut job or stalker or someone looking to sell you anything. A few months back, I received your book. I was inspired by your story and attitude. I really admired what you were saying. It had a profound effect on me. I've shared the book with some close friends whom I thought could benefit from the insight. 3 weeks ago, on a drive up to a family wedding in the country, I talked to my wife about the book whilst our kids slept in the back. She's one of those who never engages in my work bits, but she too was moved by your story, and she asked to read the book when we got back. We had a great time at the wedding. On the way home from the wedding, however, we were involved in a traffic accident and were hit head on by a vehicle heading the wrong way down the carriageway. My wife was killed instantly. My daughter died the next day from severe brain trauma. As I lay there in the hospital, I kept thinking of your story, and it gave me hope. I tried to write you in the hospital, but couldn't control my tears. I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story with me. It helped me cope. I'm still raw and don't know what will come next. But thanks.